There are true stories that begin with investigations, and there are true stories that begin with sacrifice. Nellie Bly risked her own sanity by infiltrating the most notorious insane asylum in America to document every bruise and calculated cruelty hidden behind high walls. She does not walk into this assignment as a journalist chasing a story. She walks in knowing she may not come back as herself. 10 days. That is the limit placed on her plan. 10 days inside a system designed not to heal people, but to erase them. The asylum she is entering is not described as dangerous in polite language. It is described in fragments, whispers of neglect, patients who never leave, and doctors who decide truth by convenience, not evidence. So she chooses the only method that makes infiltration possible. She must become one of them, not observe madness, but perform it. And once she crosses that threshold, there is no guarantee she will be believed again. Even if she survives, the asylum does not welcome her. It absorbs her. The moment she is committed, identity stops being a stable concept. Names are questioned. Stories are rewritten. Reactions are interpreted instead of understood. She begins to notice something immediate and unsettling. You do not need to be insane to be classified as insane. You only need to be inconvenient. The first test is not physical. It is behavioral. Every word she speaks is measured against suspicion. Every pause becomes evidence. Every correction becomes instability. And so she begins to adjust, not to survive comfort, but to survive interpretation. Because in this place, how you are perceived determines what you become. And perception is controlled by others. Days inside begin to blur. Time is no longer measured in hours. It is measured in emotional pressure. She watches other patients being handled like problems instead of people. Some scream and are ignored. Some go silent and are forgotten. And she realizes something more disturbing than cruelty. The system does not always need violence. It only needs repetition. Because repetition eventually replaces resistance. She continues her performance. But the deeper she goes into imitation, the harder it becomes to remember what was real before entry. Her investigation depends on clarity. Her survival depends on confusion. And those two states begin to collide. At this stage, the line between strategy and identity begins to fracture. She is no longer simply acting. She is reacting within the role she created. Doctors begin to observe her more closely. Not because she is stable, but because she is too structured in her instability. That inconsistency becomes its own risk, because systems like this do not trust precision inside chaos. Every interaction now carries weight. Every sentence risks escalation, and the most dangerous realization arrives quietly. The better she performs insanity, the less control she has over how she is interpreted. The investigation is still alive, but it is no longer separate from her existence. It is embedded inside it. 10 days was the plan, but systems do not respect planned timelines. They only respond to internal logic. And inside the asylum, logic is not measured by truth. It is measured by authority. As the final days approach, the structure tightens. Release is no longer a procedural outcome. It becomes a judgment, and judgment is subjective. She begins to understand the final contradiction. To prove the asylum is wrong, she must first survive being believed as one of its cases. And once a system defines you as unstable, exiting it requires more than truth. It requires permission. And permission is the one thing she does not control. Not anymore. So, let me ask you, if the system had the power to define your sanity, how would you ever prove you were sane? The strangest part about history is how often reality behaves like fiction. And the deeper you go, the less stable the world begins to feel. Drop your thoughts and subscribe if you want more true stories that are deeper than entertainment.